Yo dudes, you guys like reading? Yeah, me neither, which is why I just listen to audiobooks. And thank goodness there's mangas out there with pictures. In this one, I'll talk about some outstanding literature I had the chance to experience over the years. We're gonna start off with the most powerful training arc I've ever seen with David Goggins' life of going from 300 plus pounds to becoming a Navy SEAL, running marathons with 10 times the distance, and jumping out of planes to stop forest fires. Then, we're gonna go to the other side of the planet and experience the pinnacle of romance as a spectator sport. Oh yeah, hopefully you like baking. Alright, we go. Can't Hurt Me. Dude, this is the best non-fiction I've ever read. This is the one text-only book I can confidently say has changed my life. The book is the life story of David Goggins. It goes from his childhood enduring racism and an abusive father to going through school having never learned how to read. As an adult, he was obese and working an exhausting and difficult job as an insect exterminator. But then, one day, dude sees an ad to become a Navy SEAL and starts his ascension. He goes through a transformation, completely changing his mind from a victim mentality to someone who actually wants adversity, and becomes incredibly fit, losing a tremendous 100 and so pounds in 3 months, basically a whole person's worth of weight. He teaches himself how to read, starting at a 3rd grade level, just to pass the ASVAB military entrance exam. He forces discipline on himself, developing what eventually became the infamous 3 to 4 a.m. wake-up time. He then goes through SEAL training 3 times. Yes, this is the boats and the logs, to endeavoring Ranger and Delta Force training. Later on, he started doing ultra marathons, which are 100 to 200 mile long foot races, often across hellish terrain like scorching deserts or forests. This guy is running to the point of bowel dysfunctioning, toe destruction, and he keeps going. It's actually mental. Throughout the book, he goes over techniques for mental toughness, callousing the mind, as the dude calls it. I heard this phrase in 2018 when I first read the book, and it's actually life-changing. To take on more and more difficult tasks to the point where hardship is everyday life, and what others deem challenging is just like breathing to you, gives you an overwhelming advantage to your trials. Whether it's going through a hard as diamond exam or trying to not collapse during a long exercise, these mental techniques will carry you there. He has this line in the book that has stuck with me. I'm going to paraphrase it here. When you feel like you physically and mentally cannot continue, you literally are going to collapse. You've actually only used up 40% of your total power. You still got 60% in there. I've had the luck of hearing this early in school, and it's been a tremendous way of thinking during the worst moments of studying, interview preparation, or exercising. Ultimately, what I'm doing isn't as serious or risky as being a SEAL or running an ultra marathon, but I like to believe the mentality can help anyone with their undertaking. It definitely helped me during those 4 years in university. The book was like rocket fuel for me when I reread it during the tech layoffs. I knew the next few months following unemployment were going to be nightmarish. Rereading the book, hearing all his trials, sufferings, and accomplishments made me, who just needs to find one CS job, think this: I cannot lose, and I will be reemployed. Maybe it's better to say I am not allowed to lose. He mentions at one point during SEAL training, there was a hell week, a 5.5 day of cold, wet, brutally difficult operational training on fewer than 4 hours of sleep. In the book, this takes place in shivering San Diego night on a freezing beach. I believe their instructor told them to take a good look at the sun because that was the last time they were going to see it for a long time. And remember hearing this line, walking home from the gym on the 2nd day of unemployment, and basically carving those words into the marrow of my being. The book has more incredible anecdotes from his military training and marathon accomplishments, as well as many mental and personal accountability exercises that I think are extremely worthwhile to experience. This is really the best book I've ever read. I hope all you dudes have a chance to read it, because this is actually the height of human existence. Okay, let's do the next book. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This book is truly wonderful. It's honestly a piece of literature I can call beautiful. This manga is a inner high school romantic comedy. It's packed to the brim with outstanding character interactions and life lessons anyone at any point in their life can take a look at. You'll have to excuse me looking at Wikipedia to help write up the summary because I'm going to write up some stuff that didn't happen if I did this independently. The series stars Rintaro Tsumugi, a well-meaning guy with an intimidating stature and complexion. The guy has a bit of a low self-esteem, which is thoroughly explored throughout the series, and is a student at the Chidori Public High School for what is assumed delinquent boys. While working for his family's bakery, he meets Kaoruko Waguri, a kind and caring student from the elite Kikyo Private Academy, a girls-only high school. She frequents the bakery and sees Rintaro's kind-hearted nature beyond his outer appearance, and the two learn more about one another over time. She's also a dessert enjoyer, so there's some outstanding art throughout the manga. How the two interact with one another, how they cheer each other on, and go through each day is something I'm really glad I had a chance to read through. It's a very healthily developed relationship that seems completely feasible in the world. Rintaro's character development out of low self-esteem is really one to witness. It comes naturally and beautifully. I'll keep it a bit vague so you dudes can experience it yourself. Kaoruko is fantastic. Her motivation and drive to work is very healthy and great to witness every time it's brought front and center. The two are loved by their friends and for solid reasons. Rintaro and Kaoruko are both accompanied by a set of fantastic friends that have their own backstories and aspirations that are thoroughly explored. The interaction between the cast is fantastic. The rivalry between the elite Kikyo Academy and downtrodden Chidori often yields prejudice and anger, resulting in these cathartic exchanges. Miscommunications are quickly resolved through what's honestly very mature dialogue. Every person works very hard in their own way in life and is fundamentally a pretty nice person. For all the characters in the story, there aren't really any villains. It's a collection of people going through their own challenges in an honest and inspiring manner. Rintaro's parents are absolute standouts as well. His mother's presence in his childhood and his high school years are some of the most incredible parent-child interactions I've had the luck of reading. There's a couple of moments where his parents talk, and I honestly had to put the manga down and reflect on it all. You know, when the literature is literally breathtaking, we're quite lucky that the series has many of these moments. I'll give a brief example. At one point, Rintaro and a few friends are helping out at the bakery during a busy time. What his parents say to motivate the kids, relieve their fatigue, and congratulate them on a day's hard work honestly gave me a new perspective on the concept of working and life fulfillment. It was like someone delivering a lifetime of wisdom and optimism in a few frames and pages. It's a very heartwarming and engaging story. Its comedy is lighthearted and lands incredibly well. The origin is also quite interesting. The mangaka Saka Mikami mentioned she developed the series after witnessing the very depressing ending of Attack on Titan. I had a couple of friends ask me about manga recommendations in the past, and this is one that's always a standout. I remember going to Kinokuniya with a friend visiting from out of state and telling him about it. There were a few mangas I had the chance of showing him, but I told him, if you had to buy one item from this store, please let it be volume 1 of this manga. This one is very easy to pick up, so good and wholesome you can even show your parents. If you guys like watching anime, you're just in luck. The anime has just been announced with a preview, along with the voice actors for the two mains. It's going to be animated by Cloverworks, who did Fate Grand Order Babylonia and My Dress Up Darlings. So it's going to look drop dead gorgeous and sound majestic. I guess one thing that came out of reading this manga is that, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps it's time to learn how to bake cakes. Well, that's it for book club. Hope you dudes enjoyed them. That's all I got. See you later, bruh.